In this video, we're going to be looking at modeling with mathematics. So number one, it says that 2 wedding venues charge a reservation fee plus a fee per guest. The table shows the total cost for different numbers of guests at the terrace. The total cost y in dollars for x number of guests at the Dragonfly Inn is represented by the equation y is equal to 50x plus 6,000. So we're going to look at which venue charges less per guest. So we want to see basically which slope is smaller. So we see at the Dragonfly Inn, our slope here is 50. So that means they're charging $50 per guest. But I need to see what they're charging per guest at the terrace. And I'm given this table. And remember, when we're looking at a table, we're basically given several different points on that line. So that means I have the point, for instance, 50, 750. I have another point, 75, 9, 375, and so on. So I want to use those two. I'm going to pick 2 of these points and use that to find the equation, or to find the slope of the terrace. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose the first 2 points. So I have the first point, 50, 77, 50, and then 75, 93, 75. And so I'm going to use my slope formula to find the slope of this. So it's going to be y2 minus y1 is equal to m, or x2 minus x1, sorry. So I have 93.75 minus 77.50 over 75 minus 50. Well, going to my calculator, 93.75 minus 77.50, I get 16.25 over 75 minus 50, which is 25. And then when I divide those two numbers, 16.25 divided by 25, I get 65. So the slope of the terrace is 65, which is greater than the slope of the Dragonfly Inn, which is 50. And so I can say the answer here is Dragonfly. And that's because 65 is greater than 50. Okay, then part B says, how many guests must attend for the total cost for the 2 venues to be the same? And so y represents the total cost. So we're looking basically when our 2 equations of our lines are equal to each other. So I already have the equation of the Dragonfly Inn, which is y equals 50x plus 6,000. I still need to find the full equation of the terrace. I have the slope, but now I need to use the slope and a point to find the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and just use that first point. And so I can use my point slope formula. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So I have y minus 77.50 is equal to 65 times x minus 50. So I do 65 times x to get 65x. And then when I do 65 times 50, I get 3250. And then I can add 7750 to both sides. To get y is equal to 65x plus 7750 minus 3250, I get 4,500. So that's the total cost for my terrace. And I want to see when they cost the same. So I'm going to set both of these equations equal to one another. So I have 50x plus 6,000 is equal to 65x plus 4,500. And now I'm going to solve this for x. So I'm going to subtract 50x from both sides. And I get 6,000 is equal to 15x plus 4,500. Subtract 4,500 from both sides. And I get 1,500 is equal to 15x. Divide by 15 and get 100 is equal to x. So that means that 100 guests need to attend. And you can always check your work from here. So I see on my table at 100 guests, it costs 11,000. And I see if I were to plug in 100 into 50x plus 6,000, 50 times 100, I get 5,000. 5,000 plus 6,000, I get 11,000. So it checks out. Okay, let's try another one. So here I'm comparing photographers. And so it says 2 photographers charge a one-time fee plus an hourly charge. The table shows the total cost for a photography session with Frank's photography. The total cost y for x number of hours with Steve's photos is represented by the equation y is equal to 20x plus 500. So first, I want to see which photographer charges less per hour. I see that Steve's photos charges $20 per hour, but I need to see how much Frank charges. So I'm first going to grab 2 points from this table. So I'm just going to grab the first two. So I have 1, 536, and 2, 552. Label my points and plug that into the slope formula. So I have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have 552 minus 536 over 2 minus 1. When I do 552 minus 536, I get 16, which is less than my slope here of 20. So that means that Frank's photography charges less. Okay, so part B says, how many hours must the photo shoot be for the total cost for the 2 photographers to be the same? So I want to see when they cost the same, so when y is the same. And so that means I need to set the 2 equations equal to each other. However, I first need to find the equation for Frank's photography since I only have the slope right now. So I know the slope is 16. And I want to use that first point, 1, 536. And I'm going to plug that into my point slope formula. So I have y minus 536 is equal to 16 times x minus 1. So I have 16x minus 16. Add 536 to both sides. And I get that y is equal to 16x plus 520. Now that I have that equation, I can go ahead and set the equations equal to one another. So I have 16x plus 520 is equal to 20x plus 500. Subtract 16x from both sides. I have 520 is equal to 4x plus 500. Subtract 500 from both sides. And I get 20 is equal to 4x. And then divide both sides by 4, and I get that 5 is equal to x. So that means that the total cost for the 2 photographers would be the same if the session lasts for 5 hours. And we can always check our work. So I see in my table for 5 hours, Frank's photography costs $600. When I plug in 5 into my equation for Steve's photo, 20 times 5, I get 100. 100 plus 500 also equals 600. So we are good.